Yowza, bowza, wowza, holy cowza, what's happening nowza? Hey everybody, Brian Zane here. It's Friday night and the mood is right. Gonna have some fun and show you how it's done because it's the Smackdown Review Live. And it is Friday, December 18th. We're gonna look at Smackdown this evening. If you've not seen, since we're on the subject of live streams, if you've not seen the Ultimate Deathmatch live riff that I did yesterday afternoon with my guests Matthew and Ethan HD, go check that out if you want to see a really bad movie in real time in its entirety, and here are belligerent responses to that. I'm really happy with how that live stream went, and we raised a total of $250 for Feeding America in that live stream. So thank you all for your generous support with that. And with that, actually, one final plug before we go into SmackDown review. You should also check out Final Battle tonight, Ring of Honor Final Battle. And I know it's a bit of a conflict of interest for me to be reviewing this while my other job is doing a show tonight. I can only choose one, and this is part of my work here in the channel. But I'm very looking forward to watching Final Battle this weekend. I've heard a lot of good things about it so far on the interwebs, including some good news for my good friend and one of my favorite wrestlers right now, Danhausen. So, yeah, go check out Final Battle after you watch this review. Let's begin with SmackDown. It opens up with Kevin Owens on the show. He says he has told his family not to watch TLC in their match, not because of what Reigns could do to him, but because of what he will do to Reigns. He says that Roman's kids Roman's kids know their dad's a hypocrite, using his own family members as pawns, and he calls Roman a coward. Paul Heyman showing up on the screen. He thought the KO was a masochist at first, but now he thinks he's a martyr. He says that Roman will eradicate him at TLC. But Kevin Owens has had enough, saying he's going to look for Reigns himself, and the Hey Dog looks a bit concerned, but that's just part of the it's the ever-evolving story. You'll hear my thoughts on the Kevin Owens thread as we go on here. And it begins. It's because after the break, Kevin goes to Roman's locker room, and he's not there. He's already making his way to the ring. Maybe Kevin Owens would have caught on if he looked at the screen right next to Roman Reigns' locker room door and noticed that the Titantron was already up there. What's this big screen doing outside Reigns' locker room anyway? Why doesn't Kevin Owens just run out there and try and jump him? Roman says he's not a bad guy. He's just doing what he has to do to be the guy. Kind of a spin on that classic short and sweet promo he had a while ago. He gives Kevin the chance to acknowledge him as the tribal chief, head of the table, and then things will be fine. But if he can't do that, Roman will end him before TLC. Kevin Owens does show up, and then Jey Uso jumps him from behind. The first of many times we see this. He and Reigns beat up Kevin together, and, the first thing I thought, and it gets reinforced later on, is why wouldn't Kevin by this point know better than to watch his back at this point? It makes him look kind of foolish. Oh, but we're not done yet with the foolishness. Backstage, Jey is confident they took care of Kevin, but Roman's not so sure, and he tells Jey to end him and to take him out. I'm seeing a few people commenting on the sound not being in sync. Give me just 1 second while I troubleshoot this. Whoop! Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now that I've fixed the audio or the microphone input. I just disabled this increasingly piece of shit microphone. This almost did me in yesterday in the live stream. So I'm glad that now I know for sure. I probably just need to get a new microphone. So goodbye, Blue Snowball Mike. Let's carry on. We go down to the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match. I'm sorry for that, folks. It's live TV. Smackdown Live Tag Titles as the Street Profits take on Wregret. Clark Duke, best known for his time on Hot Tub Time Machine. Apparently he's in the Croods movie as well. And apparently he's a presenter for next week's Slammies. He weighs in on his pick for a match. Well, there you go. And Corey Graves with the line of the night. Who cares what Clark Duke has to say?
Well, a lot of blue in this match, by the way. I like the matching baby blue gimmicks for Wregler in this thing. This match is really like, I don't know, underwhelming, I guess is the best way to describe it, because it's basically it's a really basic TV match. You expect these guys to pull it all out, for a big match like this, and it just doesn't really feel that way to me. It just feels like a very basic TV match with not a whole lot of hype and drama. Ultimately, Ford wins, or Street Profits win, because what happens is Rude tries to grab the tights, but Ford counters it and grabs tights of his own to win and retain. Wregler getting the referee's face. The little nation ain't having any of that shit. He threatens to suspend or have them suspended if they touch him. They kind of back off. The way Ziggler set up for it, I was like, oh, he's gonna super kick Charles Robinson, but nothing really happens. Or I was expecting like it was gonna be cutting away as the move happened, which happens a lot with them, it seems. Like when they cut away to the Street Profits on stage, I'm like, oh no, he's gonna kick him, we're gonna miss it. But it didn't happen. So yeah, the match itself was like, it was what it was. Backstage, officials try and talk down Kevin Owens, but then Jey Uso decks him again, hits him from behind with the chair. We then get a Bianca Belair promo where he says Belair says Bayley is the measuring stick, but she's always got Bianca's name in her mouth, and it's her time to H-I-N-E. That spells shine, for those of you who weren't keeping score. Riot Squad up next. They're taking on Billie Kay and a partner of her choosing. Apparently that's Billie Kay's gimmick now, where she wants to find partners until she beats the Riot Squad. Why do they break up the Iconics? I don't get it. If you're just going to put Billie Kay in tag team matches, why the hell did you break them up? So yeah, she picks Tamina as her partner. So there you go. Short and sweet match. Tamina is kind of doing all the work here, but Billie tags herself in and it backfires. Tamina is knocked off the ring. We get a cool double team move by Liv and Ruby here. It's kind of a setting up, kind of like a Russian leg sweep with a drop kick assist. So the Rioters win that one. And then, so yeah, that's what we get for Billie Kay. I do appreciate, though, that Billie she had the resume taped to her back and like took it off like bam, like that. That's some clever hiding of the resume. Carmella is in the ring to issue a champagne toast. For Sasha Banks, and she's got the Somalian sommelier is there as well. They're preemptively celebrating her victory against Sasha at TLC. This line by Carmella, she says, "Well, I'm about to drink champagne that costs more digits than your phone number." I like that, but then I also see the Cook's label on that bottle of champagne at the table. You're not fooling anybody, Carmella. Come on, I know a bottle of Cook's when I see it. I went to college. She says that Sasha is mentally weak and in over her head because she's drowning in the pressure of her own expectations, and that when she got herself DQ'd last week, Sasha that is, Carmella knew that she had her beat already. So she takes a sip of her champagne, and she says, "Oh, this tastes cheap and frantic, just like Sasha." I've never heard anyone describe frantic as a taste before, so that was new. Sasha's music plays, and the Somalian sommelier goes up the ramp. Sasha appears in the ring and throws the champagne at Carmella. They fight for a bit. The sommelier gets involved. Sasha attacks him. Carmella bashes another cheap bottle of champagne over Sasha's back. The one positive I have about this segment was just Carmella's promo. I liked her promo. I liked her reasoning here, her motivations. So yeah, I've said before. Also, if you saw, I posted my TLC predictions earlier today with me and Jay Biggs, and like I mentioned there, I'm loving this repackaging of Carmella, this new evolution in her character. So I think that's been a really good a pro overall with SmackDown for the last month. Is just the evolution of her character, and it is it's not a new character. There's nothing new what we're seeing with Carmella. She's not breaking any molds here, but I think she carries that role very well, and she fits the part, I think. And the parallel on Sasha also looked good. So yeah, good setup for Sunday overall in that segment. Kevin Owens in the trainer's room. Jey Uso shows up again and beats him up. Kevin's looking really good here, looking really smart. It's just like it just goes on all dang night with Kevin Owens here. Up next, you've got Otis versus Shinsuke Nakamura in singles action. Otis accompanied by Chad Gable, and together they're Gatus, according to Corey Graves, but a slip of the tongue there with him. Chad coaching from ringside, yelling at orders. Otis is on a roll, but then Chad stops him doing the Caterpillar. It almost backfires, but Otis recovers and hits the Vader Bomb to win. So we're seeing improvement from this Alpha Academy student, but then after the match, very similar to what we saw last week in the tag team match, Gable chastises and confuses Otis yet again, saying not to do what he says, but to do what he means. And Otis and I am also very confused by what's going on here. Where it's like, this feels like it's leading to some kind of setup where Gable's going to betray Otis. Like, I've taught you these things, but I haven't taught you everything I know. And so then somehow Otis, because somehow he's going to use all that training against Gable and win. Somehow. It won't make any sense, but it will make sense. Sami Zayn's got some trophies ready for the Sami Awards, but they're not polished enough. He goes to leave, and Big E just cackles his way into the shot as he messes around with the envelopes. And we get the first ever Sami Awards. I love the trophies here, because they're just Sami Zayn action figures, spray-painted gold, and they're put on top of an aluminum can that's spray-painted black. It's so cheap, and I love it. We got Sami introducing a big end-of-year package, and it's just about Sami Zayn. And so he issues the awards. Comeback of the Year, Sami Zayn. Match of the Year, Sami Zayn, that triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions. Superstar of the Year, Big E, and then like right on cue, the graphic plays. I'm like, how do they have that ready already? Like, if this is Sami's plan to just all these graphics for himself, who in the truck was like, well, I already know the Big E messed with the envelopes. Click, drag, Big E picture there. That was a bit of a moment killer for me. The Big E shows up and does his speech. He wants Notre Dame football to cover the spread. Sami keeps interrupting, and I love Big E keeps shoving him away. Finally, Sami pushes Big E out of the way. Big E punches him really low, beats him up for a bit, and that's pretty much that. You know, it was a funny segment. I like Sami's just work in general, and I think Big E's also great here. I like that they don't have to have him wrestle every week to advance his character, but I feel that he should wrestle more. I feel that when he's not wrestling, then I feel it's kind of doing a disservice. But I mean, he is getting his character over. He doesn't have to wrestle, so I guess that can also be commended. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel there should be a better balance. And I feel that sometimes they cool off on wrestlers too much when they don't have them actually doing things in the ring. We had a Bayley promo backstage. Great line by Bayley here where she goes, "You don't see me bragging about how good I am, do you?" I'm like, it's just great hypocrisy by Bayley. She's just so good in the role model thing. And so she'll put Bianca on the map. So you have that match now, Bayley versus Belair. And Belair shows her strength really well here. You know, she at one point almost looks like she starts to drop Bayley on a sidewalk slam. Bayley trying to mock Bianca with some squats and stuff out of the suplex, but it backfires. Belair looks to go for the deadlift powerbomb until Bayley rakes the eyes, hits the rose plant to win. I thought it was a good match. I think, you know, Bayley, or Bianca, I should say, nothing to lose here from like losing. She doesn't really lose her any kind of momentum, I don't think, losing to Bayley here, because she's been good, although Bayley has been losing a lot of matches as well in really weird ways. So, I don't know, who looks good with the best in the end? I think you could have built them both up better. I think you had Bayley keep winning matches. You could have had Bianca win a few more matches, I feel. They should have really, I think, held off on this match for a little bit. Have Bianca show up after more matches, and then she can lose to Bayley, and I think she would not be knocked down as much, I think. But, you know, I think it's still a fine match. And like, this is the last match of the evening. Our final segment is Roman Reigns with the final word on Kevin Owens. He doesn't get to talk much here in this promo. He says he doesn't understand why Kevin would blow this opportunity. But before he can talk more, Kevin Owens shows back up. And he lays out Jay with the chair for a minute. But it soon becomes 2-on-1 once again. And the Cousins just beat the holy hell out of Kevin Owens. They put him through tables. They pile all sorts of plunder on his prone body. And there's your hero. The guy who keeps running headfirst into a conflict that he knows he can't win, but he just keeps getting beat down over and over again. But at the end, though, after they go to the back, we do see him emerge from the rubble. And he says, you know, he'll win the Universal title or he'll die trying as we fade to black, showing the heart and tenacity of a really big, foolhardy person. It does make him look like an idiot, though, I have to say, to continually fall victim to these sneak attacks at night. Doesn't seem to call any audibles, doesn't change his strategy, doesn't bring anyone to fight with him, just keeps getting up after getting beaten up. So I guess there's some nobility in the fact that he keeps getting back up and he's gonna do what it takes. Yeah, but it's like you also look like an idiot for having gotten beaten up as much as you did tonight. That was my big sticking point. They could have done, like, if they did half as many of those beatdowns, it probably would have been better, I think. You probably could have just had just the one. You could have had, like, the beginning and the end, and that would have been fine. But all those different moments of Kevin just continually getting beaten up makes Jay look weak because he can't put anyone away. And it also makes Kevin look dumb because he keeps setting himself up for it. So that's kind of my take on Kevin here tonight. So that's what happened on SmackDown. That's your go-home episode before TLC. Honestly, doesn't really make me want to watch it any more than I already did, which was kind of like this. Let's go to the, high CPU usage. What am I doing here? Oh, this is, I don't know. This might be a shorter stream than normal. Let's just say that. Here's the grade, y'all. I give it a C- because I did enjoy Carmella's promo, like I said. I'm enjoying her character. The Sammy Awards was some good, lighthearted fun for me. And Bayley and Belair was a fine match. But like I said, SmackDown Championship, the tag team title match was a bit disappointing, a bit underwhelming given the caliber of these four guys, especially the Street Profits. Otis versus Nakamura was like just really quick. I don't really know where they're going with it. And the women's tag too. Women's tag should also be in here. And Kevin Owens, I feel, is kind of an idiot here in this thing. So that's my SmackDown review for the week. We've got 270 people watching right now. So thank you kindly for watching here. And thank you for those of you who've been here from the beginning and have put up with my early microphone issues. I apologize for that. I will tell you, I have had this microphone for about 10 years, and it has worked for me on and off, but I feel this thing has caused me, most of my technical difficulties have sprung from this mic, and I don't understand why. But after tonight and yesterday, I'm probably going to retire this thing and find some other better mic, because Lord knows I don't like the microphone that's built into this webcam, which is what I'm writing on now. I like the sound of this when it works. But last couple of days, just not been working. So once again, I will plug the Ultimate Deathmatch live stream that happened yesterday with me and Matthew and Ethan HD. If you got a couple hours to spare, I think it's a really fun time because we just eviscerate the shit out of that movie. And you also learn a couple things about it. There's a couple backstage things about that Ethan HD told us in that commentary that I never knew about. And for example, Paulie Venture, he basically just showed up to the tapings, the filming for that. I don't know if it was like spontaneous or what, because he has no prior experience. He was the front man of a Steppenwolf cover band who was doing a set at that club that night. And it was just, it just goes downhill from there. There's a lot of problems with it. Let's see here. So now let's go on to the Super Chats. My favorite part, because I get to answer so many of your wonderful questions. Matt Most Wanted with 10 Australian dollars. Who do you think will win the men's and women's Rumble matches next month? I mean, who really knows? I feel like, any prediction now can be thrown out the window in like 2 or 3 weeks. But I've always maintained that I think Big E and Bianca Belair would be my front runners to win. And let me hold that thought for a second because I realize this computer is not plugged in and it's about to die. I mean, guys, the level of professionalism on this stream, folks, it just keeps ramping up. You gotta believe it. The lights are on bright on Friday nights. So that's my thing. I still maintain Bianca and Big E. I mean, anything could happen between now and then. But I mean, those are two safe bets, I would think. That will be fun and entertaining. The Insider. Here's $1.99 to go to an Elgato Wave 3 mic. Thanks for the tip, The Insider. I guess you have the inside track, the inside scoop on that. Ken terminated by DQ, $5 super chat. He says his favorite episode of my show is the Grandmasters of Wrestling series. Who did the voice for the We Now Return to the Gilmore Girls marathon? That was me, man. I very rarely hire out voice actors for my channel. It's usually just me doing a funny voice. The only person I can recall using the voice of a lot was my old coworker Kent, who I worked with when I worked at one of the TV stations here in town, because he was my partner in the creative services department, and he would do voiceover stuff for commercials, and that was part of our job. So for a nice official commercial sounding voice, I used him a couple of times. He's in the first episode of Grandmasters of Wrestling, by the way. That boardroom scene, he's a guy standing in front of it with the chart and everything. But yeah, Kent Albrecht is my man. He does some of those voiceovers, but it's mostly me doing voices here on the channel. Niall Witherspoon, $9.99. He speculates about Big E versus Roman at the Rumble. That could also happen. If Big E doesn't not in the Rumble match. I could see him the way the path is going. Maybe he is the next person to challenge Roman Reigns. I'm trying to think of who right now on SmackDown could be the next person to go for that, but I don't know. Honestly, I think he might be the best candidate. That'd be a good match, though. But that's the thing. Big E needs to wrestle more. I think he needs to be more in the ring, and he needs to have more wins over people before he can just kind of leapfrog right into that scene. So I think all these backstage skits he's in doesn't really help him in the long run for that, in my opinion. Trakes, $2 super chat. Insert wrestler is so much fun to watch. Do you not like my commentary on people who may or may not be fun to watch, Trakes? Because I like to have fun when I watch wrestling, and if a wrestler's not fun for me to watch, then I kind of tune out a little bit. Daniel Bryan. People are saying in the chat, Daniel Bryan. That makes sense, but again, we will see. I hate speculating on stuff like that, if I'm being honest. It's so nerve-wracking to do that because it's just it's not. Part of it's a fear of being wrong. I think we all kind of had that fear, but it's just it's an effort and it's a strain on my mind that I don't need to try and think about who is, who's going to do what, where's somebody going to go. That's why I don't like to do fantasy booking, because to think that far ahead for things, it's something that's not part of my, a high priority for me mentally. So, yeah, and to me, predictions and stuff, that's why I don't, that's why I kind of throw out a prediction the day before a pay-per-view or something. That's as far as I'll go usually. But as far as that deep ahead, who's going to win the Rumble, who's going to fight Roman next, God, who really knows? Ken terminated again. $3. Zayn Lesnar might return at the Rumble and win. He might. I don't know what Lesnar's status is right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up. At this point, if he ever shows up again, I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be a bit of a twist, don't you think? I can see Lesnar coming back as a babyface to try and challenge Roman and, I guess, fight for Paul Heyman's love. I'm wondering where Lesnar fits in with that. What's going to happen if and when Lesnar comes back and Paul Heyman's still with Roman Reigns? That could be an interesting money match, to have those two with the roles totally reversed. Yeah, there's some potential to that. You might be onto something, Ken. M. Abe with $1. Message retracted. There you go. But thank you very much for the super chat. What else we got going on here? I'm trying to think of what else to plug. I'm on Cameo. Look at me, cameo.com/ZManBrianZane. I just did a couple more this week. I've done birthday wishes. I've done holiday wishes. I've done holiday/birthday wishes. I've done a cameo as Big Hoss McGraw. The first cameo I ever did was as Vince Russo. So, there's a lot of fun and potential to be had with Cameo if you want to reach out to me that way. Do a little video shout outs. I got that going on. Patreon.com/wrestlingwithregret. You get a lot of cool exclusive stuff there, like the It Came From Memphis series, the occasional old episode commentary where I talk over my old episodes and talk about, the highs and lows of the production or any fun facts that didn't make it into that version of the video. What else? Yes. Also, early access to Wednesday videos, not just the long forms, but also the classic pay-per-view reviews. So next week is my review on The Authority. Lord knows people have been asking me to do that one for years. It was a big task. It's 3 solid years of storylines that I'm trying to consolidate into one video. And what is going on? I just had one of my windows decided to jump out ahead of me for some reason. So yeah, we are doing, The Authority. It's going to be a good one. It's in the can now. It's uploaded. It's scheduled, ready to go. That's a 28-minute video. So, it's hefty, and I hope I can do it. I can do the storyline justice. That's all I'm really caring about. Is I hope it's concise, and I hope it works with people, and I hope that it's enjoyable. And I hope I do a good job covering as much as I can. Because, there's some things I forget about it. There's stuff with, Brad Maddox. I never mentioned Brad Maddox in the review, so I'm getting that out of the way right now. He's there, kind of, but I don't think... He's definitely not a notable name in that storyline. He's really... No, not there. Somebody told me today, apparently Lana tried joining the Authority after Mania 31. I'm like, did she? I forget that, because that's not in there. There's a few really small sub-storylines that just don't make it in the cut. It's I'm just focused on the big storylines here and what Triple H and Stephanie in particular are doing. Hugo Allen Stevens, 5 British pounds. Merry Christmas, Brian. Any new dead promotions to make videos about, or has the well run dry? Enjoy the WCW 2001 pay-per-view reviews. Yeah, I've got a few different ideas for dead feds I want to cover. In fact, hang on, let me show you here what I'm working on, or what I'm planning on working on soon. I got all these DVDs. This is Urban Wrestling Federation, and people have been asking me to do this for a while now, and so I finally bought the DVDs. I really have no clue what the order is in. I had to go by like release date to figure out according to Amazon, but they're all over the place. Because like this one's the first one, First Blood. That makes sense. The word first is in the title. This one apparently came out in like, this says 2011 here, but then you've got all 4 of these DVDs, and there's no order to them. And like these came out in like June or July of 2019, and these 2 came out in like November of the same year. So I don't understand what the deal with that is, why there's an 8-year gap between this and these. So I'm very curious about these, but I'm hoping that I don't know. I feel like I need outside help in this one because I don't know if I'm the right person. I'm not the right demographic for this, but we'll see. I'll try my best, and if I'm totally out of my element, but I might recruit some friends. But this is you know, might be the next one I'm doing. And I know a lot of people have been asking for XPW, which I am interested in doing. I know a couple people who are part of XPW, so it's just a matter of like getting the time to sit down and interview those folks, and also start watching more of their shows. And they have a lot of stuff. And like that's what's so daunting to me, is because like I've done all these dead feds that are like, oh, you know, it's a few shows here and there, or it's 3 discs and you're done. But XPW is a whole ass federation. It has a history and a lineage going on for a while. So I'm not, you know, looking forward to having to watch all that. But if there's one thing I've learned from watching all these Raws and Nitros and Thunders from 2001 in preparation for the WCW pay-per-views I've been doing, it's that it is possible to watch those kind of in the background while I'm doing other work, and it's not too important. So we'll see how that goes, I guess. For those of you who are asking whose face is on the Hogan poster, that's the YouTube champion, Levi Shapiro, who's also the APW World Internet Champion. He's also the United Wrestling Network Television Champion. So he is picking up all the gold in 2020. And I can't wait to work with Levi again very soon, hopefully sooner than later. Somebody was asking, so how is Kevin Owens an idiot? Well, like I mentioned in the review proper, because I think he's just been, in this particular episode of SmackDown, he just kept setting himself up to get beat up. And he was just like over and over again, to the point where I'm like, you have no strategy? You have no thought to like change your course of action? He just keeps walking right into a buzzsaw. And like there is a nobility to him getting up from all that, but at the same time, for the number of times he had just like kept, you know, getting beat down and beat down, like, I don't know. It didn't make me want to see what's going to happen at TLC. If only to see how badly he's going to kill himself to get Roman over. That's the only appeal I have to watching that match now, because like him just getting beat down so much, and there's no way that Roman's going to lose that match. So like what's left to see? You've already given away how badly Owens get beat up. Now you just want to see him do it more on a pay-per-view scale. He's going to lose an eye? I don't know. What's going to happen? M.A. $2 super chat. Can your Patreons watch your trademark vids? I don't know what that question means. If you go on Patreon and you're a $5 backer, you get early access to my Wednesday videos, so long forms and classic pay-per-view reviews. If you are on any level tier, so as little as $1 a month, you get my exclusive It Came From Memphis series, sort of thing. So, yeah, I don't know what you mean by trademark videos, so to speak. But, you know, the same videos usually that you get on a Wednesday, but you get them 2 days early. Sometimes there'll be a couple of changes. For instance, the NXT 6 video, the original one, did not have the EC3 cameo because that was something I was waiting to get. Also, if you watch the NXT 6 review, because now that the news is out, I don't have to kayfabe it anymore. If you noticed from the NXT 6 review and you saw EC3's cameo, if the editing of it near the end seemed kind of janky to you, it's because it was. Because I wrote that and he filmed it before he was taking off Final Battle tonight with COVID, and so we had this dialogue in there to plug Final Battle, and then when I found out that he wasn't going to be able to do it, we had to make some changes, and so I didn't want to, I couldn't get him to reshoot in time, so we just, I just do some funny editing and try to make it work, and I think, you know, no one noticed, no one seemed to point that out in the comment section, so I think that's, you know, that's cool that I was able to edit it in such a way. Let's see here. Big Hoffman. Oh, the Lou Albano impression worth my $10 a month. Billy, Billy, Billy. God, I've not done Lou Albano in a while. I've not done that impression in some time. I think I had to retire the Lou Albano beard because it just could not stick to my face anymore. No, it's okay, M-Abe. I get you. Oh, did the Ducks win tonight? I know they had their Pac-12 championship game. Is that tonight or tomorrow? I don't know. I don't care about college football. I mean, I don't not care. I don't care. I don't follow football anymore like I used to. That was my big sport too. Like, it was a bad day in the house. The Ducks lost the game because it ruined my day. But I just don't care about football anymore. It's so not in my frame of reference now because I just do like I focus on my work and my family and stuff. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to plug, man. I think this has been. Thank you very much for watching this and supporting the channel. And thank you very much for your super chats. Like I said, go check out the TLC predictions video I dropped earlier today. Go check out the Ultimate Deathmatch live stream riffing that we did the day before. And stay tuned for TLC, my review for that show. That's going to drop Monday morning, like early Monday morning. And there's going to be the image I use to obfuscate the footage. It's going to come from today's show. So if you watch tonight's Smackdown, you should go study that because one of those will be used. And also, finally, go check out Final Battle. This is done. I think the show just wrapped up. And from what I was seeing on social media before I went live, it sounds like it was very well received so far. So go check out Final Battle as well because ROH is doing big things to end out 2020 as we go into the new year. And I'm hoping that once hopefully things can settle with COVID and ROH can start running shows again and bringing crowds in, and we can just get back on that kick. But I think what they've been doing with the taping so far has been very impressive in the ROH bubble. And so as to when I will return to the ROH bubble, stay tuned for that because even I don't know yet. But until then, folks, I'm Brian Zane. I'll see you next time, and to influence